Hey team, welcome back to another video for Building Better Baseball. I'm Coach Hart, and in the next couple weeks, I'm going to go over a video series that involves the baseball education, the coaching, and the skill development for every age group of players. So I've seen a lot of online questions, and I've even received questions myself about where should my child be for each age, right? If you're 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever, what should they be learning? What do I not have to worry about? And really, where should they be in their process of getting better and improving at baseball? So that's what I'm doing for the next couple weeks. I'm going to go over each age group of where you should be, what they should be learning, and what you really don't have to worry about until the next age group. So today's video is going to be the baseball education, coaching, and skill development for 6U and under players. Remember, I'm Coach Hart, this is Building Better Baseball, and this is the best place for baseball education. So let's get right into today's video of the 6U and under players and where should they be. So some things to remember first before we get into it. And I know these are common sense, but it's always nice to hear these out loud, right? So these players are new and they're just starting to play, right? They're so young. They're 6 years old, 5 years old, some even 4, right? In T-ball. They're just starting out to play. And we always have to remember that. Sometimes it might slip our mind and we might treat them as if they're a little older, but we always have to remember that they are very young and they're just getting into baseball. Their only exposure to baseball is through parents, siblings, PE class in school, and baseball on TV, whether it be major leagues, college, whatever, right? So we always have to remember that they are brand new to the game. And some players, they even start playing for reasons other than the game. So these players, when they're just getting into the game, some of them, they might not even be doing it for baseball itself, right? Because they haven't really developed that love of the game or they haven't really played that much. So how do they know if they like it? They're just trying it because a friend tried it or they heard it from school or a parent used to do it, right? Or a sibling does it. So all of these reasons, we always have to remember that. So let's get into what the focus should be for this age group. Now, the first and foremost is help foster a love for the game and everything centered around fun. So it's our jobs as coaches and parents and mentors to help them develop a love for the game. That is what will keep them playing year after year, season after season, and they will want to continue to come back because they love playing the game. They love the game, and with these kids, having them be so young, baseball needs to be fun. Your drills, your practices, everything that's involved with them playing at this young age, it needs to be centered around fun. And that's the first and foremost thing that we need to do is for these young kids, we need to help foster a love of the game. And in order to do that, we have to center everything around fun. So the next thing is with skill development, right? These kids, they've never played before. So they're experiencing hitting and fielding and running the bases and just being on the field for the first time ever. Now, we don't want to overwhelm them with all the knowledge that we have, right? Sometimes as a coach or a parent, it's easy to overcoach where you have so much knowledge in your brain and you're just like, oh, I just want to give it all to you at one time. That's overwhelming for a kid who's just starting out. So whenever we're teaching skills, we want to teach a big idea skill with no more than 3 cues on how to perform that skill. So if it's hitting, your 3 cues would be a setup, a load, and a swing. Those are the components of the big swing, right? That's the big idea. It doesn't help a 6-year-old when you start saying, oh, your knob of the bat needs to be pointed to the catcher, and then your load needs to be like this, and then getting into all those details, the kid is like, I've never done this before, so this is kind of overwhelming, and I'm just learning how to swing the bat in general, right? So we start with the big idea, and no more than 3 cues. We just want to teach them how the skill is performed from beginning to end with just 3 cues, no more than 3 cues. We want to develop a general understanding of the basic rules of the game. You get 3 strikes, you get 3 outs. After you hit it, you run to first, and then you second, third, all the way home, and that's how you score, right? The general basic rules of the game. That's all we want to focus on for this age group. Equipment. We want them to know what a glove is, what a bat is, what cleats are, all the equipment that we use in baseball. This is where they're going to understand and say, oh, that's how we use this. This is a right-handed glove. This is a left-handed glove. And positions, we want them to know the positions of the field, right? The pitcher, the catcher, first, second, all the way around. We want to associate those with the numbers as well. So pitcher is position number 1, catcher is 2, and all the way around, right? We want them to learn the positions and where they are on the field, and as well as the number position. So a coach can say, here, go to shortstop, or go to position number 6. As far as this age group, this is all we need. And another focus, they should learn how to be a great teammate. They're going to be on a team. Baseball is a team sport. They have to learn how to be a great teammate to their teammates. So people, first of all, want them on their team, and they enjoy playing with their teammates because everybody's a great teammate to each other. They have to learn how to respect umpires and coaches and teammates, and especially their opponents, right? So as a coach, mentor, parent, whoever you are, you have to help them learn how to respect the game, basically the umpires, coaches, and how to treat them with respect, and how to foster that sportsmanship and that respect of the game and everybody involved with the game. It starts early, and that sportsmanship and that respect of the game will carry on throughout their whole baseball career. And lastly, they need to learn how to learn and improve. Basically, they need to learn how to be coachable. The only way that they will get better is if they can take information that is given to them about their skills and they learn how to use that information to get better. We need to teach that at a young age. Now we're going to get into what should I not worry about? And at this age, remember, overwhelm pushes them away. If they feel overwhelmed or there's too much information or they're feeling discouraged about something, remember, baseball is a game of failure. They will fail more than they succeed. If they're feeling that failure, if they're feeling that overwhelm, that will push them away and will cause them to not enjoy playing, which ultimately will get them out of the game, which we don't want. You should not worry about playing too many games. Just have a regular season with a normal amount of games. Don't try to do all of these scrimmages and do all these tournaments and everything like that. The kids don't need all that. They need development. And the development comes in practices. It comes from you at the home, at your practice, right? It comes from the games, but they're playing t-ball. That will only take them so far with the game-like experience. So that should not be a huge focus, is trying to get all these games in for these kids. They need to develop their skills, and that comes from practicing. So don't worry about playing extra games and trying to get all these games in for these kids. They're 6 years old. Let them develop their skills through practicing. Pitching. They don't pitch yet, right? So they hit off the tee. Some of them might even do machine pitch, but at this age, at 6 years old and under, they're not going to be pitching, and they're not going to be pitching too. So the extent that they need to know about pitching is really just the position. The position is number 1. It's on the mound, and that is the pitching position. They first need to know how to throw, right? And some of these kids, they don't know how to throw yet. So why would you try to teach them the pitching mechanics when they can't even do the throwing mechanics of regular mechanics, right? So at 6 years old and under, I wouldn't worry about pitching. Priorities. So center field has priority over the outfield, shortstop over the infield. They don't need to worry about all that. They need to catch the ball first. They need to track the ball first. The only thing that they need to know how to do is call the ball. So if you have 2 players running after it, they need to communicate. Communication is way more important than learning the actual priorities on the field, right? That's kind of an advanced concept that they don't need to know right now. They're 6 years old. All they need to know how to do is communicate, call the ball, and track the ball to try and get underneath of it. The priorities and all those things, that'll come at later ages. Advanced situational baseball. What I mean is like bunting situations or first and third plays or anything like that, right? Those are advanced situations that they don't need to know about. They need to know how to hit the ball. They don't need to know how to bunt. They're not going to bunt off of a tee, right? So save the advanced situational baseball for when they get a little bit older. We need to learn the basic rules of the game first, and then we can get into the more advanced stuff. Because if you think about it, like the infield in and the first and third where somebody's stealing, they're not stealing it. Those rules and those situations don't apply to 6-year-olds. So there's no reason to really practice it in practice or really go over it in depth. You can mention it, but I wouldn't go in depth with it because that would create overwhelm, and we don't want that to happen. High IQ drills. So remember back to the beginning, I said big idea skills with 3 cues or less. If you do a high IQ drill with all of these little details and blah, 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 they don't even know what it's working on, right? All they want to do is they want to swing and they want to hit the ball. So keep your drills simple if you're doing the drills, and all these high IQ drills of all these little detailed things, it's too much for them. We don't need to worry about all that. In-depth skill cues, and that kind of piggybacks off of what I just said. No more than 3 cues for each skill that you're teaching at this age, and then once they get older, then you can kind of break down even further and go into the more details of the skill in order to help them improve. Conditioning. All the running that they do should be out of fun and should be through games and like running the bases or playing pickle or something like that, where they're running around and they're getting their conditioning, but you're not actually doing conditioning. So we don't need to worry about that. They're too young for that. And in closing, we have to remember that these are kids who just want to have fun playing baseball with their friends and their teammates. And that's really all they care about. They're 6 years old. They're not going to care about all of the little details of the game and blah, 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 right? They just want to get out there and play some baseball with their friends. And as a coach, parent, mentor, it's really important to just help them foster that love of the game by having fun on the field and letting them play baseball with their friends and their teammates, because that's really all they care about. They will care about all of the details in later age groups. They want to improve, but they don't want to be overwhelmed. They do want to get better, but they don't want to be overwhelmed. And that's where I go back to the big idea with the 3 cues. Keep it simple. Keep your drills simple. Keep everything simple so it doesn't overwhelm them. Because remember, overwhelming them will push them away from the sport, and we don't want that to happen. And lastly, we want to give them easy wins. We want to set them up for success. Because baseball is a game of failure and you don't see success as much, we want to set them up for success, right? If we're playing catch, we want to get close and we want to do a light lob where it goes right to their glove. We don't want to have them reaching. We don't want to have them doing all these extra stuff. We want them to see that they can catch the ball. If you've ever seen the Sandlot when Smalls in the beginning in the outfield, he just sticks his glove up and closes his eyes. That's what we want. We want to put that ball right in that glove so they can catch the ball and they can experience that success. That's a win. That's an easy win of them just catching the ball. We want to set them up for success in every situation so they experience as much success and as many wins as possible at this young age, because we know that as they get older, it's only going to get harder. And if they have experienced success in the beginning, then that will motivate them and keep them going throughout their whole baseball career. So thanks for watching. I really hope this video kind of set the stage for this age group. If you're coaching or you have a player that's this age, you don't have to worry about all the stuff that I said don't worry about, and all of the stuff in the beginning. Those are the core values of this age group that we really want to instill, and that's the foundation of their love of baseball and something that will propel them throughout their baseball career. So before you go, I have a couple free guides down in the description below. Please check them out. For coaches, I have a 2-hour practice plan plus some other free guides. And for parents, I have a free baseball equipment sizing guide, plus some other things down there as well. So look down in the description. Feel free to grab whichever free guide that you would like. And again, I'm Coach Hart. This is Building Better Baseball. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will be back next week for the 8U and 9U age group. I'll see you then.